A major find of the Cultural Climate Survey was that nearly 92% of people agreed Western Michigan University respects diversity and inclusion on campus. The survey asked staff, faculty, and students if they were satisfied with diversity at Western. White students expressed higher satisfaction rates with diversity compared to all other racial ethnic groups. People with disabilities, religious minorities, the LGBT community, female faculty, and female administrators were also not as satisfied. Although white students expressed higher satisfaction rates concerning diversity, research found incoming white students were from primarily white communities. Director of the Lewis Walker Institute, Dr. Timothy Reddy, explains.
White students at Western have very little experience in interracial, interethnic contexts. On the other hand, they had very little experience. And so, and I think with little experience comes little knowledge.
The survey recommends that Western should identify and enhance existing multicultural programs and/or develop new ones. But this recommendation will only attract people who are already working towards greater diversity on campus. Dr. Reddy has a theory why some people don't feel comfortable talking about diversity.
Kids, they don't want to say the wrong thing. And they don't want to offend anybody, or they're afraid of saying something stupid, and so that somebody might find offensive.
There are many established groups, programs, and events that allow people to get more involved with diversity on campus. The International Festival is organized by the International Student Activities Office.
This is our biggest event. We have roughly around 4,000 people coming, not at once obviously, but like throughout the entire day. We're sponsored by Western, obviously. We cannot afford the whole thing. But and this year is the 25th anniversary, so it's like our biggest event that we have definitely this year.
Office Director Daniel Nueves would like to see more Americans come to multicultural events.
We don't get many Americans in here. It's pretty much like try to tell them to come here and experience it, because once that they come in here, they come back and they bring their friends.
You see the flyers, the chalk graffiti on the sidewalk, and organizations promoting events at the flagpoles. What events have you been to?
I myself haven't participated in any on-campus diversity inclusion programs. I do definitely think they are a good idea.
I participated in an outspoken meeting once. It was pretty fun. They tried to include everyone, but I'm a shy person, so it didn't really include me, I guess.
Yeah, I have not, and I think the reason is just simply, the busyness factor.
Outspoken is another student organization which promotes inclusion for all students.
And what we do for Western, we do provide that safe space and a community for LGBTQ people so they can meet each other and find support. We do have lots of events throughout the year.
Their most popular event during the fall semester is Pride Prom. This event gives LGBT people a non-judgmental prom. But Outspoken has seen a decline in participation in recent years.
But I know that my freshman and sophomore year it was up near 100, and it's not there right now, which happens and is okay. But I really liked it when it was a lot of people. I felt like I had a really big community and like we could really make a difference. We still make a difference now that we're smaller, but it's harder sometimes to get enough people, enough person power behind it.
Now that the survey has been released, the university is taking steps to make Western more diverse. Executive Director of University Relations, Cheryl Rowland, explains.
Well, the report's fairly new. It was actually only presented on campus in October. So all of those recommendations that you find at the end of the report are still somewhat being digested. I would say that it's being followed up on at some of the highest levels at the institution. Well, the Tactical Action Committee that you reference is part of the university's overall strategic planning initiative. And I think it's important to note that in the university's 3-year strategic plan, there are 5 major goals. One of those is promoting a diverse and inclusive campus. So,
the Campus Climate, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Tactical Action Committee is overseeing this goal. The 4-member community is working to create changes to the cultural climate on campus. Program Director Tiara Marshall explains how programs help create change at the university.
This cyclical relationship between the organization that you want to create structurally and the people who inhabit that organization. You have to do both. And so when we talk about programming is what happens, some of what happens between that. And so you need folks to be equipped for this new thing that you're doing. It helps people to, either through professional development or training or classroom work, it helps people to inhabit that new system that you're trying to create. So it's necessary, but it's a part of this much larger picture, I think.
Member Mary Zoyer Anderson explains why individual and systematic changes are important.
Sarah said, that's really true, that the individuals have to show up and do the work. And if we put systemic things in place that sustain that work, then more people can. And when people aren't, there's a system for trying to help them, right? Because it really does have to be at both levels to sustain it.
Students have the opportunity to diversify their college experience by attending the various events, programs, and organizations on campus.
I'll say what I always tell people, be the change that you want to see in the world. It really, we're kind of moving into a different way of working in the world, period, where there's more collaboration. And the reason for that is because we recognize that, one company or, one person within a company can't do the hero thing over and over again. We really have to have folks working together, coming up with really great solutions that have the opportunity to sustain because of the collaboration and the work that goes into developing them, because you're hearing from the voices of all the folks who are at the table.